Hello, so glad you guys could make it. Today is day one of our 48-hour prep before the Iftar party that I'm hosting. So every year I host a big Iftar dinner for family. By the way, my dishwasher is running because I am washing all the dishes for the party ahead of time. So they're all washed and dried, and I will set the table tomorrow. So we'll get to that in a second, jumping ahead of myself. So every year I host a big dinner iftar party for all of our family. My husband's side has a lot of people, so I invite them once a year, and they come and have iftar. And that's really the beauty of Ramadan, which I miss so much when I used to live in Lebanon and in the Middle East, because it was a time when all the families would gather, they would have dinner together, you would invite your friends, family, and it was just such a big, and it is still such a big month for us, where it's just everyone is together, cooking together. It's just the most wonderful time of year. I love it. But here in America, it's a little bit different. We try to do these get-togethers. I was recently invited to my sister-in-laws, and we do these gatherings every now and then, but it's a little bit harder when you're just so far away from home. Anyways, I have a very big to-do list. I made a list of all the foods I'm making, and then what I'm prepping on Friday and what I'm prepping on Saturday. Today's Thursday. I grocery shop on Thursdays, and then make sure all of my table setting, like I have everything I need to make the most beautiful tablescape setting thing. So that's what we're doing. Today I am grocery shopping. I wrote a list of all the foods I'm making. I am making 2 kinds of salmon. I'm making the spiced yellow rice. That's actually Saudi Arabian, or originally from Saudi Arabia, and it's one of my favorite dishes. It's called Kabsa, and I always make lamb shanks with that. Delicious. Kibbeh Cups. So kibbeh the main ingredients are ground meat, bulgur wheat, and onion. Those are the main 3 ingredients for kibbeh. I'm not making them in the pan, and they kind of come in a football shape. If you've ever had kibbeh before, you know what I'm talking about. For this one, I'm actually putting them in a muffin tin, so they're gonna be like a tin shape, and then I'll put the stuffing inside, and they'll come out so cute. I'm excited for that. I haven't made that one yet, but I am pretty confident with my kibbeh making skills. But just the format is a little bit different. So instead of the football shape, I make them in a muffin tin. Mac and cheese, just as a little side dish I like to make. Everyone loves the mac and cheese that I make. The little ones, the adults as well. So that's always on the list. That's like one of the things I make every single year. I don't know why, but it's kind of like a safe fallback in case something else, like if somebody doesn't like something, they'll like the mac and cheese. So mac and cheese, the kibbeh cups, the yellow rice, and the meat. 2 kinds of salmon. One of the salmons is actually Bobby Flay's recipe, and I'll link that below. It's so good, you guys. It's really, really good and so easy. The second salmon recipe is my mom's recipe, and it's like a cilantro garlic thing. It's really easy as well. I haven't made it, but it's really good. My mom will help me throughout the recipe. She said it's just cilantro, garlic, a little bit of jalapeno, and maybe she didn't make it up, but I learned it from my mom, so I'm gonna ask her for the help when I need it. Baba Ghanoush, which is, if you've ever had hummus or hummus, it's like the brother of hummus, except it's Baba Ghanoush, and instead of chickpeas, we use grilled some eggplants, which I did over the summer. I grilled a bunch of eggplants, and then I froze them for days like these, where I just need to pull it out of the freezer and then assemble it, so it's much quicker, so I don't have to grill anything. It's already been made. It's thawing out in the fridge right now, and I'll prep that tomorrow. I am making stuffed dates, a few different kinds of stuffed dates. Traditionally with Ramadan, we eat a lot of dates, and they're usually plain. I like to stuff mine. I add some cheese, like different kinds of cheeses, nuts, drizzle some hot honey on it. Delicious. It's so, so good. Everyone loves it as well. So I'll be making those again. A soup, a corn chowder soup, which is delicious. Again, everyone, like, some things I know people like, so I always kind of, I'm on the safer side for most of it. There are a few items I haven't made before, so, you know, if something doesn't turn out the way I want it to, there is a fallback. There's always a fallback, especially with Ramadan and you're fasting all day long. You need to make sure that there's something everyone will eat. Salad, what am I making for salad? Oh, arugula. It's like a Mediterranean arugula, Parmesan cheese, a lemon vinaigrette. I'll also show you that as well. And asparagus. And asparagus will go in the oven. This is going to be lemon zest, actually. Lemon zest, Parmesan, and it's so easy and it's delicious. You put it in the oven, doesn't take long at all. Most of the stuff will be prepped on Friday, because when Saturday comes around, I do not want to be rushing. I don't want to be panicking. I want everything that's ready to go in the oven just to go in the oven and bake and take its time. And the last minute things, such as the salad is last minute, the rice itself is last minute. What else? I'll make the kibbeh stuffing day of, so that way, you know, I'll prep as much as I can with that, but most of it will be done on Saturday as well. And the soup will also be fresh. Other things I can prep them ahead of time and then put them in the oven Saturday when that time comes. Just trying to, you know, make sure everything is kind of taken care of before Saturday, because once Saturday rolls around, I have family in the house, things get crazy. My family's staying over the weekend as well, so it just kind of gets a little bit, there's just so much going on around the house, so I want to make sure most of it is ready, prepped, done. And it also gives me time to get ready and feel and like take a shower, put my makeup on, and not be frazzled by the time we're having dinner. And that's that. First thing we're gonna do, I already organized my list, what I'm gonna be making Friday, what I'm doing Saturday, and the menu. And I also have a grocery list, which I have on the side in my planner as well. And let's go grocery shopping. I'll take you along with me throughout these next few days. And yeah, I guess I have nothing else to say. So without further ado, let's go grocery shopping. These are so cute. I'm gonna grab a couple and put them as centerpieces on the table. They'll bring in so much color. This one is also super cute. I'm gonna grab one of each. Okay, so I didn't get everything, so I have to go to a different store, but I did pick up a bunch of flowers. Look how pretty these are. And the cheeses that I needed, some tulips. How cute are these? I went a little bit crazy at Trader Joe's today and bought 3 of these, and I bought a bunch of like little flowers here and there. But we're trying to manifest spring. Today is actually the first day of spring, and it's been snowing all day long. So hopefully this will help speed things up a little bit. Good morning. It is Friday. I have 16 lamb shanks right here in front of me. This all has to go on the stove. I need to tenderize it. It's going to take about 3 hours. So that's the first thing I'm starting with. Get that on the oven. It is 9:30 a.m. right now. I need to finish most of this before 1 p.m. because I have an appointment to go to. I can come back and finish the rest later, but I want to get this on the oven, done, turned off, or on the stove, turned off before I head out the door. So let's start. I have 16 lamb shanks. This is going to go on the spiced rice on top. I'm going to tenderize that super tender and it's fall apart, so it needs to take its time, and I want to, cook it low and slow so it's nice, tender, stays juicy. And then next day I'm going to use the stock that I make with this to make the spiced rice. So let's get going. I am so annoyed with myself. Last night I was laying in bed and I remembered I forgot to buy the things for the soup, so I have to go back to the grocery store today, and I am beyond annoyed with myself, but it's okay. If I move efficiently here, I'll have time to go grab those things right after my appointment, so need to get that done. So right now I have 2 onions here. I need to quarter them. The most important thing is to stay organized and to do one thing at a time. All right, let's quarter these massive onions. This is going to really give the stock good flavor, and it's going to help with tomorrow's rice. Okay. The meals I'm cooking are pretty simple and straightforward. There isn't anything that's really complicated, but it is a lot of food and a lot of like, something goes in the oven, something comes out of the oven, and so it's a lot of strategy. I don't know the other word for it, but it's kind of like strategy. You have to know what's going in the oven at what time, what's coming out, what's getting cooked at this time. Anyways, let's quarter this. Here's 1, 2. Quarter the second onion. I'm using a little bit more than usual just because I do have a lot of lamb shanks. So here's that. And then this is the celery I have left. I need to go pick up more celery. I'm going to keep, I don't know. Actually, let's take them out in case they turn bitter. So let's take those out. I don't want the stock to be bitter. Okay. All right, just leave them as they are. Rough chop. I have a huge pot right here. Everything's gonna go in the pot. I do still need to add garlic and things like that, but let me get things out of the way. So here, whoops, there they go, 16 of them. Here is that. Here is that. Let's get the garlic. We're just going to roughly chop about 5. 5 should be plenty. 2. Okay. All right, well that made a mess. All right. Just kind of mash it. Roughly chop, throw in. Oops, I forgot to chop that. It's okay. Into the pot. Okay, now it's time to add the aromatics. We need bay leaves, cinnamon sticks, cardamom pods if you have them. Really anything that just kind of gives a nice aroma. So let's move that out of the way. Let me get my bay leaves. I have a big bag of bay leaves. I get these, my mom got them for me from Lebanon. They grow these and then they dried them and she gave me some. So these are like super fresh. Here's some up there. Let me get the cardamom pods. Alright, I'm gonna add a couple of cinnamon sticks. Here are my cardamom pods, about 10 to 15. Great, it's stuck. Okay, there we go. About 10 or 15 of these should be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you know what? I am actually going to mash them just a little bit. I'm gonna mash them just a little bit to release some of that, the aromatics a little bit better. Here they go in. All that is going to be sieved out anyway, so it doesn't matter. And here is some star anise. Really whatever you have available, just throw it in there. Here's a couple of them. And that's it. I'm gonna add water and let it boil. Let it come to a boil and then turn on the boil, turn down the heat until it's like a low simmer and keep it on the stove for about 3 hours until the meat falls apart. All right, let's go do this. I'm gonna add about 16 cups. Remember, because this is double the size, so I'm using 16. I usually use about 8 shanks, but because we're using double, we're going to double the water. Really up until it goes over it. So let me go get more. Alright, and just fill it up. There we go. perfect. All right, next on the list is the Kibbeh Cups. Kibbeh is, the main ingredients are bulgur, which is the fine bulgur. This is number one. You need fine brown bulgur. You can find these at any big supermarket. I usually can find them at a Walmart or any Middle Eastern store near you. So bulgur, ground meat, and onion. Those are like the main ingredients. There are going to be some seasonings and things like that, and you'll see how we do that. It's really quite simple. It may feel intimidating, but it's really not. All right, first thing we're gonna do is soak the bulgur in some cold water. So I need 2 cups of that. Let me get a bowl, a big bowl. Okay, get yourself a big bowl, 2 cups. Whoa, this is 1 and a little bit. It's okay if you're a little bit over. And then 2. Because we're not really baking anything, you don't have to be exact specific, but get close enough. All right, 2 cups of that. I need 1 cup of cold water. Here we go. Give that a little stir so all of the bulgur wheat has some liquid on it. And let that sit while you do the second step. Okay, put that aside. Now we're ready for step 2. Let me get you need a food processor. All right, in a food processor, add your ground meat. Now you need to chop up an onion, and you're gonna add it to the food processor. You don't have to chop it up too finely, just because the food processor can help with that. Alright, add it to your food processor. I actually forgot to tell you that you have to add a little bit of ice water, and that'll help the food processor work better and just process it a lot better. So let's add, we just need 1/4 of a cup. So the idea here is for this to turn into like a dough. It'll kind of be like a meat dough. That's the closest thing I can think of. All right, here we go. This has soaked long enough. It only needs about 5 minutes. The seasonings we're gonna add to that is some dried mint. This is mint I got from my garden and I dried it out. Just make sure it's not twigs, but just like freshly ground mint will give it really nice flavor. Need 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. All right. Now, roll up your sleeves. We're gonna get into it a little bit. First, I'm gonna mix the bulgur with the seasonings and the herbs. Wow, that smells so good. All right, now we're gonna add the meat and onion on top of it. Here we go. And then it's gonna form like a dough. You want to really get all the flavors incorporated. So it's going to take about 5 minutes. If you're mixing it by hand, it's gonna take about 5 minutes. You can do it with the food processor, but you're gonna need like a big food processor for this. So here we go. You really wanna get them in there. All that needs to be really mixed in. There you go. Like my mom would yell at me if she were to see these pieces of onion, because you're really not supposed to. It's supposed to be just one. It's gonna be like a dough. I've never had any issues with it. Like it's fine. Some people are just pickier than others. I'm not a picky person and it's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. And I guess I need like a new food processor anyways. But anything that's like really big, I just kind of throw it away. But most of it is small enough where it's just going to bake together and it's going to be fine. All right, this is the dough. Wash my hands. Now I'm going to put a ball in each one. This is going to form the base of the cup. Okay, there we go. I just need a little piece of parchment paper. I'm gonna put it on top and then smush it down with, maybe, does this cup fit? Okay, it's not so bad. All right, let's see. How many times have I said all right today? Okay, let's I mean, not too bad. All right, I'm gonna do this and I'll come back. Okay, I figured out a better method. This cup, the bottom of this cup has worked really well. And then press it. Let's see. There we go, to create that cup. Okay. This is the hard part and I'm glad we're done. So I'm gonna go put all that in the fridge and come back to you guys. All right, now it's time for recipe number 3 and number 4, which are 2 different kinds of salmons. We have, I'm going to cut them into strips and then place them each in a foil. I'm going to just make it as easy as possible for myself to just clean up, and that's what we're using. I know it's not the most sustainable thing, but it's okay. I'll deal with that when I need to. But right now, we're gonna cut these into strips like this. I actually need to cut this. That way they go on our table on the tray that I have set for them better or nicer. They'll just be more aesthetically pleasing. Plus everyone can just get their portion and without having to worry about cutting it themselves. Okay. This is going to be Bobby Flay's recipe. I'm just going to place them in here because Bobby Flay's recipe, you make a sauce on the side and then just pour it on top of the salmon so the salmon can go directly in here for that. Second one, I don't know how much. This one is going to be cilantro. It's going to be stuffed with cilantro, jalapeno, and garlic. I'm gonna mash those up together and then just stuff it with it. So I'm wondering if I should just slice it this way and kind of just stuff it with them. I wonder if I had just yeah, let's just do it that way. That's fine. Yeah, we just made little flaps and then we'll just stuff it right there with it. Just kind of go in a bit. I'll do a baking tray and then just put it on parchment paper. Pro tip, if you crinkle it, it'll lay down better. And then there you go. And I'll just put it right on top of it so it fits perfect. All right, get that out of the way. Let's start. It's 11 o'clock right now and I have till 12:30. So I have an hour and a half to finish these 2 fish. All right, let's go. Clean up as we go so it doesn't get too crazy. Put it all in a bowl. Okay. This is cilantro. This is a recipe my mom taught me. And we've had this since we were kids, so it's a really old recipe that we've been doing. Okay, so there's that. Next, let's move that out of the way. Next we have, next we have this jalapeno. I don't want it too spicy. Let's de-seed it. Uh-oh. We're gonna mash them with garlic. Oh, 5 cloves should do. Salt to this. And then mash them together. Perfect. Mix that up. Okay. Get myself a lemon. Oh, these are seedless. That's great. All right, just there we go. Let's just set it on top of the recipe number 3. Here we go. You guys are tilted. Why didn't you say anything? All right, here we go. How's that? That's better. All right. Salmon number 1 is done. We're gonna do salmon number 2. Take a break, go to the gym, come back, and finish up. Let me go put this in the fridge. The first salmon recipe was more on the salty, spicy side. Bobby Flay's recipe is more on the sweet side, and it's delicious. It's also super easy to make, so let's get to it. So for Bobby Flay's salmon recipe, I will link in the description below. We need honey, well, we need olive oil, honey, butter, brown sugar, mustard. I think that's it, and ginger. Let's get it together and I'll show you as we go along. First thing you need is 3 tablespoons of butter. Actually, first thing we need is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay, I'm back. I made a little bit of a mess, but that's why we're doing it early, because I can clean up all that mess without having to worry about it the same day. Imagine I was doing all of this tomorrow. Absolutely no way. Okay, first thing we need is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I had a really rough time bringing the brown sugar out. I haven't used it in a minute, so it's kind of hardened, but I'm hoping it will soften right up once I cook it with some butter and honey. So you need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of honey, and here is 2 tablespoons of butter, all up in here. Thankfully, the brown sugar is melting just fine. We're gonna make sure we completely cool it before we add it to the salmon though, so it's gonna sit here for a minute while it cools down, and then I'll pour it over the salmon, wrap it up, refrigerate, and then throw it in the oven tomorrow with the other things. So that will be pretty much our mains. That is our mains really. So we have our meat, 2 salmons, and the Kibbeh Cups. And that is good. Here we go. all melted. We turn it off. Remove from heat. Now we gotta add the rest of the ingredients. There it is. Now that it's cooled down, let's put it right on top. Cover it up and refrigerate it. I have a fridge, I have an extra fridge in the garage, so I have plenty of room to store everything, which is so nice. And I have 2 ovens, which is also another nice thing because all of this has to go in the oven. So make sure whenever you're doing a dinner party that you account for how much oven space you have and how much stovetop you have and all these things. So because I have 2 ovens, it's really easy for me to get a lot of this into the oven. I have a little bit of extra time before I head out, so I'm thinking that I make the Parmesan crusted asparagus. So I'll see how far I get with this. If not, I'll just stop halfway, finish up what I need to do, come back, and then finish this. And that will be 5 out of the 9 things on my to-do list for the day. So let me wash these. Let's cut the edges off. And then I'm going to place directly in the pan. Let's do about a half a cup. Okay, that's good enough. We have our Parmesan, and it's going to go with on top of I'm not going to add any salt because I think the Parmesan's kind of salty enough. So we'll add a little bit of black pepper, just a little bit. A little bit of croutons. That looks fantastic. Phew, now I can get dressed and take a little bit of break and then maybe clean up a little bit before we start phase 2 of today. I have these dates, which I slit in the middle, took out the pit. These dates are from Oman, but you can buy them really anywhere. So the first one I stuffed with French brie and crushed pistachios right on top of it. The second one, I'm going to do some smoked Gouda. I think with this one, smoked Gouda, and I haven't decided yet what will pair well with this one. Hang on. Smoked Gouda. Let's get a different plate. All right. I have to get out of here in like 15 minutes, but I have 15 minutes for the kids. Little slits like that. And then right in there. That's enough for that one. And then we'll put some sun-dried tomatoes with it. There we go. I'm going to cut this small. I'm gonna go right in there with it. Here we go. This is a better view. Looks nice. Okay, those are done. I'm going to head out. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup before I head out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Everything that was supposed to be done today is done, and we will come back again tomorrow. Bye guys. Happy Saturday, which means these guys are home today. A little bit extra chaos, which makes me so happy that I have prepped a lot of things yesterday. What's up? The first thing I want to do this morning is put these in and see how they come out. I'm actually so nervous that they're not going to come out like I imagined them to come out. So I want to do this a little bit early so that way they set, they have time to cook thoroughly and just fix anything that needs fixing in the meantime. So I won't stuff them until right before Iftar. Real quick, I just set the table. The theme is spring, And I wanted to just bring in a lot of colors. This is a pretty linen light blue cover. I love the cabbage wear that's coming out lately. Some fresh flowers from Trader Joe's. And just like different things. There are some things I thrifted versus shop for. Usually at Home Goods if I'm shopping for anything. But here they are. These are thrifted. I'll put the rice and meat in here. The salad in here. The salmon in here. These are for the Kibbeh Cups. These are for the baba Ghanoush. The soup. Is that it? Just kind of different. Habib. Water and jaleb, which is a traditional drink that we drink during Ramadan. And then of course I'll have the dates out here too. They're already set in their plates, so just gotta put it out here. What do you guys think? We eat at 8, but I'm going to wait until 7 to put in all the things in the oven. The 2 salmons, the asparagus, the mac and cheese, which I didn't film, but I'll show you the end result. And if you guys want the recipe, just let me know in the comments below. And I'll make the rice right before as well. So pretty much all done now. The work comes back at around 7 p.m. and that'll be it. I'll show you like a last scene of all of the things on the table. And thank you guys so much for watching this. I do appreciate you so much. And I hope you enjoyed it. Talk soon. Okay, everyone's over. I told you guys to get camera shy, but everything is cooking and in the oven in we eat in about 30 minutes.